I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn and at the fall of dusk.
Talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that has not
Christian
come.
faith.
I have known Islam on 3 continents. Islam on 3 continents.
When Obama was running and became president, the black people and many white folks voted for him because he was black first. Should that have mattered to them that he was black?
The reason why
No,
they gave
should it
Obama,
have mattered first? Should it have mattered that he was black?
listen, no, it shouldn't have mattered that he's black,
All
he's
right.
white, he's pink, he's purple.
In Coronado, California, Class 234 is falling apart.
2 minutes, you don't make it? Guess what happens? You do it again!
Trying to obey impatient SEAL instructors, Class 234 is completely disoriented in the pre-dawn cold of late November.
23.4!
In the darkness, there isn't time for the instructors or the television cameras to learn 83 names. It won't matter. BUDS has a failure rate of over 70%.
65, 66, 67, 68!
Of the 83 students pictured here, only 16 will graduate 6 months from now.
80, 81, 82, 83, 1, 2!
Every student harbors an inner belief that he can become a Navy SEAL. But when seconds seem like hours, enduring the moment can challenge anyone's commitment.
Oh, that was a saggy bat. You're on 7. You started out with 10 and you've knocked out 20 so far because you're sad. You're weak. Here's 8, 9, 10. I tell you what, when you're told to do something, you do it right. If you're doing a set of push-ups, you do them right. You want to screw off, I'll catch you every time and I'll make you pay. You will pay.
One way to get somebody fired up to get them moving is just give them extra pressure and say, you know what, every evolution I'm going to be watching you and paying attention and making sure that you're doing the same thing that all of your buddies are doing.
Do it again! You guys get out of here!
Making a guy realize that he has to put out equally with his buddies. The basis of teamwork is being able to have a little bit of self-motivation, be able to carry your own weight.
What number are you on, Cheney? You're on 3! I didn't say 4! Don't you wish you were moving a little faster?
Day 1 is a wake-up. It's welcome to BUDS. They kind of get introduced to all the instructors. Intensity level as far as being right in their face for everything, every minute, every second they're out here is definitely at a higher level.
Straighten your out, James! Don't give in to the pain! You just adjust for it! That's it! Minor adjustments! If you can't do it perfect, then you just change it a bit! Don't give in to the pain and quit!
This entire PT has been a joke. There hasn't been a single evolution that you have performed during the course of this PT that has even remotely resembled perfection. Everything has been sad, weak, and unreadable. And it's all because you're inside your tiny little brains self-defeating yourself.
There was a young black male, 25 years old, called me the other day from New York, here on the show, Chicago somewhere. I said, and he's living with his mother. I'm like, why are you living at home? Why don't you get a job? He can't because he's black in America. That's a lie. But when you're in a fallen state, you can't help but believe in life.
Think I'm good looking?
After an hour, instructors show no sign of letting up. Their intention is for each student to question his reason for being here.
Hey, what is wrong with you? Nothing's wrong.
The instructors realize nobody will drop out in the first hour. The quitting will begin as soon as the realization sets in that this is only the beginning.
Thumbs up on that bar, do one pull-up. Thumbs up on top.
Yeah, you're looking for them to put out, that's all. Just give us everything you got, and that's fine. And you can tell if they're not giving you everything they got, you can tell. You see that guy who's he's not doing all his push-ups. He's falling down on his knees, and then you tell him to bear crawl around, and all of a sudden he's got all this energy.
Do a pull-up. Pull it up. Get up there. Dismount. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. Keep going. Keep going. Look at all that extra strength you had.
Class 234 is no different from any other BUDS class before it. For the most part, students range in age from 17 to 29 years old. Everyone is a volunteer.
Get on the bar there, Butters. You should be all rested up by now. Maybe you can get one.
Each student has his own reasons for being at BUDS.
All right, there's one.
I came here to BUDS to be part of the best team around. I like having my buddies that I can depend on, and I would like for them to be able to depend on me.
Nothing's promised here. You can only try your best.
Just want to be one of the best of the best. Want to see if I can measure up to one of the toughest things out there.
As dawn breaks over the exercise area, nicknamed the Grinder, the instructors see each student clearly for the first time.
Excuse me, Mr. Holly. Get it up! Get out of here! Get up there! What's up with these officers? Get up there!
Shoemaker and Holly are officers who are drawing attention from instructors who demand that SEAL officers lead by example.
That's what they need. That's what they're asking for. Hey, dismount, Holly. Go get wet.
Hit the surf zone. You don't even want to put out.
We got 8 weeks to work with them, and you can scream and holler.
Get up, Brown!
I'm hoarse already, and it's not going to work. You got to let the time take care of it. And usually the same names will show up.
Hey, stud boy. This is stud. Kreider. Get up there! You better be a heck of a runner, Kreider, because you're lousy at this. Come on! Nice work!
If the same names keep showing up and all the instructor staff feel that, this guy's not going to cut it, then he's going to get a little extra pressure.
It's been a whole minute since your name's been yelled out, too, there, Shoemaker.
Up, 1, down, up, 2, down, up, 3.
Oh, come on, Shoemaker. Get on up there.
Lock it out.
Lock it out there, stud boy.
Lock it out.
All the way down, all the way up.
5, 6.
Lock it out, stud boy. Get on up there. Who's that guy up front there? Hoffman. Get up! Get up there! You're supposed to lead by example.
And they talk about Donald Trump. Here's the first soundbite.
He's bringing out an ugly side of America that we wanted to believe was gone. And it's still here. And we have to talk about why white men are so privileged in this country.
Jay-Z said in that first soundbite that Trump is bringing out the worst in people. Well, if the worst was not in you, he cannot bring it out. He didn't put it there. So whatever's in you was put there before Donald Trump. So don't blame him for that.
Shoemaker. Oh, you remain there, Shoemaker. Get on up there, stud boy.
Despite Shoemaker and Holly's obvious distress, BUDS is not about humiliation.
Whatever you have to do, kick, scream, fight, I don't care if you have to chew on that thing. Get up there! Get up there! You're starting to realize the kind of effort you have to give here. Thing is, it's not cutting it for you right now.
35, 53, surf zone, go get wet, run! We want these guys to dig down, give us everything they've got. The time isn't so important to us. The time isn't what it's about. What it's about is to see the guys are digging down and giving us everything they've got and showing us that they have the intestinal fortitude to punch through. It's like the only thing out of this timed run that you're going to end up benefiting from is the fact that now you know what it means to be wet and sandy.
If I ever tell you to get wet and sandy again, or anybody in the instructor staff does, you get wet and sandy from head to toe. Just like you are now, you're completely covered. A lot of people don't understand what sandy is because they don't pay attention to detail. They don't discipline themselves to get fully sandy. You do know that now, right? You know it now because you failed the run and we got you sandy. So you still end up benefiting in one little way.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're supposed to be the strong one, one that people look up to. I wouldn't even want to be under your leadership in a real team in the unlikely event you make it. Because your weakness, you could get yourself and teammates killed in a real life situation. You better figure out if you want to be here or not. You got a long way to go.
Geddes is singled out for being physically unprepared when he reported to training. As the OIC, he is an obvious choice for close-up scrutiny from SEAL instructors. Although SEAL training is the same for both officers and enlisted men, BUDS instructors are experienced SEAL operators who hold their officers to a higher standard.
Pressure is just always there for me. I mean, I'm always feeling some kind of pressure, especially as the OIC.
I want you to take a look. You got your chest here, I got under your neck, I see your arm here. You got told to get sandy. Yeah. That means from head to toe. You're an officer as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pay attention to detail. All right,
yeah.
You got to discipline yourself to do that. You got to do that so the guys are going to follow you. If you get given an order, it means do it properly the first time. Get sandy.
Yeah. I guess the hardest thing to do is constantly stay motivated so you can complete every evolution and make sure you do it and just keep going every day.
In between your legs.
Geddes will get continuous pressure until he proves he is fit to lead. It is a challenge that he must win or risk losing control of Class 234 and being dropped from training.
You're an officer. Make sure that you're leading from the front. You're setting the example, all right? Yeah. There's a lot of guys out here who are E1s and E2s. They're going to follow your lead.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold you to a higher standard. Get out of here. Hurry up!
After the run, Class 234 prepares for sea.
Hey, knuckleheads, why don't you guys move down?
The instructors hope that surf passage will cause more students to question their commitment to training and drop out.
Right now it's a little small. We saw some bigger waves earlier this morning. You never know, though. It can pick up at any minute.
Surf passage consists of boat crews racing each other through the surf in their 10-foot rubber rafts. Most of the class have never seen waves this big.
Fellas, come on now. This is the fun part of the day.
Everybody but Demeter recovered. The boat crew is waiting to participate in a race. And you're holding them up right now.
Instructors never forget a name, and neither will the class if the failure of an individual brings unwanted attention to the group. One of the ironies of BUDS is that a student can excel in one event but fail in another. Demeter, the fastest runner in the morning run, is now singled out for his physical weakness.
Hurry up, Demeter! Your boat crew's waiting on you!
Nice. You guys need to get a heck of a lot more aggressive than you already are.
Prepare low carry. Low carry.
Want him? Coxswain report. Go report.
Get on your knees! You want to be here? I don't think so. Your weakness can jeopardize your entire boat crew, get them killed in a hot situation. You better start putting out. They're kind of starting to pull it together. It's much better than they were this morning. They were soup sandwiches this morning. Boat crew 1, you better pay attention to detail when you're giving a command.
Surf passage is not simply an exercise for the students to get pounded on by the waves. It reinforces a bigger lesson, the main lesson of first phase. Individuals cannot survive in wartime. Class 234 must develop a trust in teamwork. No matter how high the surf is, no matter how cold and wet they become, trust in one another is the essential SEAL trait for survival, at BUDS or in war.
You guys ready to put out now? Same race. Go.
It's just determination. They got to have their minds and hearts in it. If they don't have that, then they don't have anything.
This big mom is out there, even bigger. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Got it. We're in there.
Here it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, yeah. Paddling. Oh, you got it. Oh, yeah. Quit paddling.
Got 7 heads out there.
When these waves come down on them, and it pretty much, it'll flip the boat over and it'll turn them into little ants and sugar. But then the calmer it gets, it's just no fun. And then we do foot races and whatnot.
If your back's not straight, your butt is in the air. Nolan, butt in the air. There you go. How tough was that? That's the rest position.
It's only going to get worse, Nolan. It's only going to get worse. Hey, there's other programs out there, Nolan. Rangers, SBU, something else, Nolan.
Every single day you're planting that seed. You're bringing them a situation where they have to struggle to overcome some kind of obstacle, but most of it's mental. They overcome it and they go on. If they don't, you know.
Why are you wearing those bars? Khalid, you realize that if you make it to a team, that you might be in charge of me.
Oh, yeah.
You think you can take command and charge over me?
Not ready yet.
Hey! It's obvious.
After 9 hours of push-ups, surf passage, running, and more push-ups, the only thought in every student's mind is to make it through the final 2 hours of day one.
What the hell are you guys doing? Get it up! Get it up! You guys better stay with the count! I'm not gonna wait on you! If you fall behind, you're screwed!
Stress and exhaustion can destroy self-confidence. Student Leg uses pain to maintain his motivation.
I don't see myself not liking it any more than I do now. And I'm having a blast with it now. It's tough, but it's still fun. So as long as it stays tough and fun, I'll stay with it.
Get those lines up! If it's touching your head, it's Old Miss for you! Old Miss is a beautiful thing! Go see instructor fast on Old Misery. Hurry up!
The only thing worse than lifting the regular 150-pound telephone poles is lifting Old Misery. Misery is a 450-pound reminder that teamwork is the only solution for success.
Shoulder position, move.
It's said that Old Misery loves company, but nobody loves misery.
Problem is, not everybody's putting out. So that means we got to work on some teamwork. That means we got to work on some strength. So why don't we start all over again? Right hand, starting position, move. I have never been under Old Miss. When I went through training, I never went to Old Miss. Thank God. 1, 2.
Instructor Pat Stone is probing each student's commitment to the boat crew's leader and to each other. The only way off Old Misery is to work together as a crew.
Get it up there, 1! Okay. Right hand, shoulder position, move. Nice. Oh, dropping the log. That's a penalty. You'll pay for that later.
3, 4, 4, up!
Up. Down. Up. In order to get off this log and go back on your own small little log that weighs a hell of a lot less than this, you're going to have to keep that log extended arm for 45 seconds. Get it the first time, go back to your log. Whenever you're ready. Time has started.
Come on, David, put it out.
Do it right the first time, and you're done.
Almost there.
Last crew did it. Last crew did it first shot.
Almost there, come on. Keep it up. Almost there, come on. Come on. Keep it up, come on.
Oh, no. Right hand shoulder position move. Gentlemen, you had 4 seconds left. 4 seconds left, and you would be back on your small little log. However, you did not make the time, so let's work on your strength training. 4 count overheads. 1, 2.
Let's do it, fellas. Let's do it.
Extended arm. Get it up.
Let's go. Keep the legs up.
Whenever you get it off your head, we'll start the time.
Get up closer to it. Get up closer.
Right hand shoulder position move. Mr. Hawley, do you need to switch anybody around on this log?
Hey, somebody needs to get up front. I'll get up front.
You realize, Mr. Hawley, that this is your log. You are in charge of it, just like you're in charge of a boat.
Here we are.
You might need to spread your power around. Standard arm, 45 seconds. Get it up. And time has started. Everybody works together. Everybody works equal. Not all that bad.
Almost there. Come on, fellas.
Get it up. Keep it up.
Keep it up. Get that thing up. 4 seconds. Come on.
Log PT is fairly easy on your regular log. As long as everybody's putting out, holding their weight. Keep it up. And right hand, shoulder position move. Right hand starting position move. Yeah, you can't forget about that penalty. Gentlemen, if you want to come back, just feel free to shoot up on your old log. Go.
The first week, they get pounded. Even the second week is hard.
All right, Gregor, let's get out here. Good job.
Third week is harder than that.
Class 234 is immersed into 58-degree water for up to 15 minutes at a time.
Well, you've been in 6 months of this shit already. Don't fail me now. I'm not, Mr. Craig. I'm hard.
It's called surf torture. Every man's willingness to endure cold must be unquestioned.
Just like you did. Hey, head on back.
Within minutes, the quitting begins.
I've been thinking about it a lot lately, too much.
You're not even sure.
I know. It's not that. It's not the cold. I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm not too cold, not too tired. I just lost the desire for it.
You gotta give him credit for being out here trying. It's not for everybody.
30% make it. Look left.
In less than 30 minutes, 7 students drop on request. The harshness of Bud's training is dictated by the SEAL mission. Their profession requires a dedication beyond the common experience. The instructor's response is predictable. They order the class back into the water.
Hurry up! You guys better come together in the class.
Instructors carefully watch for early signs of hypothermia. At night, in water so cold it shocks a person's breath away, seconds last for hours.
Stand over Rosner! 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. We're out. 39 aside, 30 in front, 1 DOR, Casey.
You guys take way too long to fall out of your boat.
You don't want to fall out? Go ahead and drop there. Fall up. Go ahead and drop.
Cold is used to measure a student's capacity to endure hardship. SEALs believe that if a man cannot handle the cold on a beach in Southern California, he would never tolerate the misery SEAL teams encounter on real-world missions.
Now that I know I'm going to be going. Get out there. It's not that bad. Hurry up. Get out. Hurry up. Go through 6. You get 1 foot out, go through 6. And the rest of your boat crew go up. Oh, negative.
When a man is cold, the last thing he wants is to get any colder. The ocean is without mercy, and so is Hell Week. 3 rotating shifts of instructors supervise the class 24 hours a day. For the students, each moment seems harder than the last.
The next time one of the instructors tells you to get your head in the water, you better put your head back and keep in the water.
From the outside, the methods of Hell Week might seem like harassment, designed to force students to quit. But every hour is carefully planned, intended to discourage individualism and reward teamwork. Hell Week is a scripted blueprint of planned chaos. Every minute requires urgency. Each evolution is in context to a real-world SEAL operation. When Leg breaks a bootlace, he and his boat crew learn that one man's problem quickly becomes every man's pain.
Man, suffer while you're over here playing with your boots. Take care of your gear, your gear takes care of you.
4 hours into an already busted.
You should have replaced those shoelaces before you even started.
Hey, we gotta stop the op because I gotta fix my boot.
You can't even handle a pair of boots.
Are you gonna leave, man? You don't belong here, sir. You do not belong here. Take an arrest while your men suffer and wait for you. You better find your left.
The first 3 days, they get absolutely no sleep. By Wednesday, I think they get like an hour there. Thursday, get like another hour. Thursday night, they'll get an hour. But by the end of the week, it's like a total of 3 to 4 hours. And there too is if you got a fast boat crew and they're finishing earlier than everybody else, you know, they get time to sit down and take a little nap, you know, 10, 15 minutes here and there. But by the end of the week, it adds up.
It's a real gut check. It's a real slap in the face. You just have to take it in stride, you know. Don't let it get to you. Keep pushing on.
Cold, wet, miserable. Stay fired up. Take an evolution at a time. One evolution at a time. Stay fired up.
Every week in Phase 1, the class must run 4 miles in 32 minutes. This week is no exception.
I did a lot of soul searching and found that the program wasn't for me. I've been thinking about it a long time. I've been thinking about it all week. I fessed up to myself and I said, listen, it's not what I want. You know, I backed down. I don't have a problem with that, so that's just the way it is.
The winter is warm and you are not.
The class returns to the surf zone for failing to make the time. Hughes wins and is allowed to lean against the hood of the instructor's vehicle.
Winter, get wet.
This pattern of competition will repeat until morning. By the dawn's early light, 6 students have quit. The remaining 33 trainees now receive their first medical evaluation.
As far as getting showers, they take showers twice a day. They got a little bit of time with the docs, so the docs will come over, make sure there's nothing going on.
Pretty cold, as you can see. Everyone's shaking. Very tough. Your legs are all sore from being up all night, so you're moving kind of slow. Everyone's just getting, you know, tired, and it's just gonna get worse. So, damn cold.
You doing all right?
Hanging in there.
Tuesday's a big day. Wait, is today Tuesday? All right, today's Tuesday.
38 hours after breakout, Class 234 receives its first hot meal and a half an hour to eat it, uninterrupted.
Walker's a distant memory right now, huh?
Not a distant memory. I mean, Mark's my boy, but yeah, as far as the class is concerned, yeah. I mean, they were shocked. He's been a big motivator for everybody. But what can you do? But that's what Hell Week's all about. It's all full of surprises. Expect the unexpected.
Mealtime allows each man to contemplate his own situation. They can only wonder how much worse it will get.
I'm hoping tonight's going to be easier than last night, because my worst thing is the cold. And last night we were cold.
The minute these guys are up, which is Sunday morning when they got up, till the time we first put them to bed, just now. And we're looking at roughly up to 96 hours of total sleep deprivation. Anything more than that, and we're risking injury to the student.
After being still for an hour, all your muscles and joints are completely locked up.
And then you gotta go lay in the surf. I was not a happy camper. I felt like crying half those times when we got out of the tent.
Go run down the ocean, sit in the cold water. That was horrible.
After 3 days and nights of cold water, psychological torment, and agonizing exercise, the class is numb to the misery. Everyone operates on instinct. 1 whistle, hit the deck. 2 whistles, crawl.
Crawl. Come on.
3 whistles, stand up. Without realizing it, they have begun to ignore distractions and react to commands.
You're getting closer.
I'm looking at some stress-related injuries to his legs, to his ankles, and he's still swelling on his knees, too.
Come on, man. You only got about another 10 more feet. Come on, come on.
He's still hanging in there.
Come on, it's sucking you in. Come on.
Spot right here.
Come on. Come on. Come on, babe.
Start with the carbs. I want to see all those glasses empty in the next 10 minutes.
Around the dinner table, the students digest their situation.
Taste of what Friday's gonna feel like.
Oh my gosh. It's here, boys.
Yeah, we're so close, guys.
I can feel my eyes swollen up when I woke up. Are they swollen now?
Oh yeah, yeah, mine though.
I have that.
I feel like it.
Probably took a couple of years off my life.
You think?
Yeah.
The smoking's bad for you. I can't imagine what this does.
Don't waste your time sleeping.
Crispino Ashot at 5'10", you guys will be out there.
I knew it was going to be bad when you woke up. Always is. Very, very cold. I saw Roseboro, he started crying. I said, not that bad.
Worst experience in my life, I thought.
No. You know why? First thing I thought, oh, this is really going to suck. Now, seriously, you look around at everybody else, and everybody else was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, you know what? I know this can't be for that long, so suck it up.
I don't think you can describe to anybody what this is like. They have to be here, and they have to experience it themselves. They'll never know. This is a kick in the nuts. Like no other.
I never thought there'd only be 21 of us.
They're about 3.5 days into it. They've got about 36 hours left. They just finished eating at the galley. We brought them over here for what we call Camp Surf. These guys are going to fill this pit in we've got behind them. Every other hell week, we usually alternate it, and they either dig a pit or fill it in. And it takes a couple hours. The guys will be digging, and if they're not putting out hard enough, guys start slacking. We'll send them down, get them wet. Basically, right now, the guys are on autopilot, and the rest of the schedule is pretty much just to keep these guys moving. Who's your luckiest guy? Who's your luckiest man in the boat crew? Mr. Holly? All right, come around here. Don't step on my graves. We got some departed members of Class 234 in these graves, so I don't want you stepping on them. All right, here's the deal. There's a paddle buried in one of these graves. All right? I want you to take your paddle and I want you to jam it down into one of these graves, nice and hard, just like this. Okay? One of those 3 graves. If you guys hit the paddle, if you hit the grave that's got the paddle in it, you get to go stand by the fire. If you miss, guess where you're going? You're gonna get wet, keep digging. So choose, but choose wisely.
Do not say anything.
Don't say anything.
It's your choice, Holland.
5, 4, don't step in there. Stay back away from it, jam it in there. That ain't it, is it? Get wet.
Let's go, Sarson.
Damn it. So close. You had a chance. Boat crew 2, get over here. Nope. Damn it. Get wet. Get wet and keep digging. Who's the luckiest guy out of this boat crew? Who's got the most luck?
Anybody here feeling lucky? You feeling lucky, punk?
Car, you feeling lucky?
Hey, I'm a boat crew leader. I'll take the stab.
All right, Mr. Leg. All right, come over here and stand right here.
Okay.
Right where my paddle is. Don't touch those graves.
Which one are we saying? Point to it.
Everybody point. Point. Point to which one you like.
Let's go together.
Point to which one you like.
Middle.
Don't step on it. Hey! Get over by the fire. What?
A little wet, a little cold. Actually, a lot of cold, but oh well. Kind of expected that. Now I think we're actually in the tunnel. We know where the end is, but we really haven't gotten to the point where we can see the light out the other side. We know we're getting to the light. It's gonna hurt getting there.
Get up! Wake up! Get up! Get out of there! Let's go!
SEALs do not tolerate failure in themselves or others. 83 students started training in first phase. 15 days of training have reduced that number to 21. Training to become a SEAL might be the purest of survival ideals. There are no commercial endorsements. There is only the satisfaction of accomplishing a goal and the dream of going to war.
Get out of that surf zone. Let's go. It's calling you, ladies. Hurry up. Got to start the day off right. Got to go take a bath.
Let's go. Get up.
Got to go take a bath. Hurry up. Get down there. Hurry up. Hurry up.
The students lay in the surf without making a sound. Only their shaking from the cold reveals their condition. By now, surf torture is merely another obstacle. Nothing more, nothing less. Their dependence on each other and their trust in their instructors is enough to keep the class going. For Class 234, the long day is almost over.
2 minutes to get your boats and your paddles. If you don't make it in 2 minutes, you're gonna come back down here and lay in the water. Go.
Somebody says, why Hell Week? Why not Hell 3 days? Why not 7 days? Why 5 days? Is when you get to this point, nobody's gonna quit. They'll stay here and they'll die if we let them.
Surviving in war is the basic instinct of every soldier.
Hurry up! Get down! Get down! Get your ass down! Hurry up! Hurry up!
Men can die from panic, indecision, or carelessness. At critical moments, they must overcome conditions and misery they never imagined. Every step of Hell Week is tried and tested by the SEALs who teach it. The teamwork required in a platoon demands it. To endure such hell and continue to perform the mission is the commitment each SEAL expects from himself and his teammates.
Here's the deal, Ashlock, I'm gonna put you on the counter. If you can hang on for 30 seconds, we'll continue on with the next evolution.
Folks, I know where you go.
15 seconds shy, falling on your boat, let's go.
Pretty great handle. You're gonna throw it over 3 people. You're waiting for those handles as soon as he flips over the second time. Got it?
You sound like Marlboro Man, dude.
As suddenly as it began, Hell Week is over. As they receive congratulations from instructors, the students have accomplished an important goal on their road to becoming warriors. Now they will continue training wearing the brown t-shirts that symbolize their passing Hell Week. The instructors too are satisfied. They have shaped a nucleus for future SEAL teams and passed on the warrior tradition. But when this day is done, Bud's training will continue for another 24 weeks. The class will be medically examined twice during the next 24 hours. Roberts and Ashlock each finish Hell Week despite broken legs. They will be medically rolled out, leaving Class 234 with 19 students to carry on. No one in Class 234 can predict what lies ahead in the coming days and months. But on this winter day, the future can wait.
Decommission it, you understand?
For 21 young Bud students, the long day is finally over.
Good job.
It's awesome. See, the more you walk this out in front of people, the more you give people the absence of fear. Because they see you and you plow the way and you endure the suffering for the sake of God's elect. It's like David. When all the armies were petrified, David shows up. He knows God, grabs a stone, drops the giant, and the army that was petrified runs and kills all the Philistines. Because somebody plowed, somebody stepped up, somebody grabbed a stone that was Christ. The air was the Holy Spirit. Boom, sunk the giant, chopped his head off, lifted it up, and the body of Christ said, let's go.
And now, as the orchestra and chorus perform the Armed Forces medley, we invite those of you in the audience who have served or who are currently serving to please stand and join in as your song is presented. United States Coast Guard. introduce the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral James A. Winnefeld, Jr. And I am honored to introduce the distinguished Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey.
Recently, I received a note from a mother whose daughter, a soldier, is buried at Arlington. She wanted to share some of the things she'd learned at the loss of her daughter. She learned that the grief never really goes away. At any instant, a smell, a color, a song, a date on the calendar can take you right back to that first raw moment when everything changed. She learned that if there's any secret to grieving, it's that there can be room for sorrow and joy, sadness and hope to exist in the same space at the same time. And she learned that grief is not a lack of faith, nor a sign of weakness. It's the price of love. That love, she says, is yours to hold forever. Memorial Day is foremost about remembrance of America's sons and daughters from every corner of our country, in every branch of service, who gave their lives so that we may live free. But it's also about love and about hope. It gives us, the living, a chance to cherish the freedom we may now hold dear and embrace the future we may now dare dream. It gives us the opportunity, all citizens everywhere, to recommit to our national purpose to secure the blessings of liberty. Let it also renew a national commitment to usher home the men and women returning to our communities and firmly stand by those still supporting our missions around the globe. Behind every one of them are their pillars of love and hope at home: a parent, a spouse, a son, a daughter, a community, all doing their part to take care of America. So I'd now like to ask all of the family members of those who serve here and at home to please stand and accept our deepest gratitude for your service and sacrifice. On behalf of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and a grateful nation, we thank you.